Advisory Board members, graduates, Dr. Beavers, Ms. Patterson, family, friends, and visitors. Welcome to Beaver Beauty Academy's first annual commencement ceremony, where we are celebrating 18 in 2018. We have gathered on this day to recognize students for their academic accomplishments and achievements. Nothing pleases us more than being able to welcome friends and family to help us celebrate the accomplishments of our students. As you visit here with us today, please know that our school is your school, and we are delighted to have you here. An invitation is never needed. You are always welcome at Beaver Beauty Academy, where beauty is your profession. On behalf of our director, Dr. Melanie Beaver, and the staff, welcome to our first annual commencement ceremony. Thank you.
Congrats. Bravo. You did it. Now on to the next chapter of your life. It won't be all cherries and roses, but keep thinking positive and work through that strife. Each time we move on to something different, we sometimes hold our expectations high. Try not to be disappointed, but see all the good. So you will be strong and we can watch you fly. Graduation is an amazing thing. You stuck with it and showed you can. Many people are excited and impressed. Can't forget how you made it and made me a fan. I wish you all the best in the future. May it be everything you want and need. I see great things to come your way. You have what it takes to succeed. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. J.R. Henderson, entrepreneur and philanthropist, is a native of Atlanta, Georgia. A graduate of Payne College, University of Notre Dame, Haiti, and University of Johannesburg, South Africa. J.R. Henderson holds degrees in mathematics, computer science, and international studies. He is the founder of the National Lighthouse Foundation and speaks across the country empowering a number of college graduates and high school graduates as well. In 2015, he was inducted into the UNCF Hall of Fame as the youngest inductee ever. So please join me in welcoming Mr. J.R. Henderson.
Someone said that it couldn't be done, but with a chuckle he replied, maybe it couldn't be done, but you never know until you try. Someone shouted, students, you'll never do anything with your life. At least that's what they said. But with a lip of a chin and a bit of a grin, the first thing you know we have begun it. Let me tell you something, students. There are thousands of people who say you cannot make it. There are thousands who've already profited your failure. There are thousands who tell you one by one of the danger that waits to it and sell you, but sit back in with a bit of a grin and take off your coats and your hats and go to it. Then start to sing and tackle the thing that couldn't be done and you'll do it. I said start to sing and tackle the thing that couldn't be done and you'll do it. Let's give all of our graduates a hand really quick. Before I start, one of the things I would like to say, I'm not a podium speaker, so I don't like to stand behind a podium too much. So I'm going to kind of drop some jewels on you, give you a few nuggets, and then we're going to keep it moving. But before I start, Dr. Beaver, please come up. Let's give our family and our educators a hand. There's a gentleman by the name of John Collins. He wrote a book, and the name of that book was Good to Great. And he talked about what's the difference between good organizations and great organizations. And then he said that what it took for a good organization to become a great organization were several things. So two of the things that he said that both are most important, he said the first thing is you have to have the right people on the bus. So the right people on the bus, I would say the right people on the bus, they're your board members. Let's give our board members a hand. The right people on the bus, those are our instructors. Let's give all of our instructors a hand. The right people on the bus are our students. Let's give all of our students. Any other students that aren't even graduating? Any other students that are here? So, let's give all of our students a hand. And then Dr. Beaver, what he said is the second thing that you have to have is what you call level 5 leadership. And he described a level 5 leader as a leader that, for the first component of the book, he talked about a leader that didn't mind doing what everyone else does. And I can remember when you and I first started talking about, you opening up the school, and the last thing that you thought you were going to be doing was in a classroom. The last thing that you thought that you were going to be doing, she thought that she was just going to, hey, I'm the educational director, I'm going to be pulling students in, but to see her actually in the classroom with students, to see her and to call her on a Sunday or to call her on a Monday when the school is closed, and to know she's at that school trying to make sure that all of these students have everything that they need. So we call that a level 5 leader. So I would like to congratulate you, and let's give her a hand. So my address to you. My address to you are several things. The first thing is this. Everyone in here, you're an entrepreneur. You are an entrepreneur. You understand one of the things that I talked to you guys about when I came earlier. I told you one of the first things that I want you to always understand and always get. The concept of paper makes paper. want you to always drive that in, because how many of us have graduated from beauty school previously and we're looking at becoming instructors? Raise your hand. So those individuals understand that when they walk across this stage and they get that piece of paper, and then when they go and take that state board, then they can make some more paper. So make sure it doesn't matter what it is that you're graduating for today when you come up here. Make sure that you understand that you need to always continually sharpen your saw. Always go back to school, because paper makes paper. And when I say paper makes paper, it's just as simple as this. When you went to school and you walked across that stage, they gave you a high school diploma, or either they gave you a GED. But then every single time you walk across the stage again and get a piece of paper, you can make some paper. So let's give our students a hand, because they're going to be taking that. The next thing that I want you to understand and I want you to get is the way you dress will determine the way you're addressed. I said the way you dress will determine the way that you're addressed. And when I say that, the way you dress, all of you are cosmetology majors and you're in the beauty industry. So the first and foremost thing that I need you to make sure that if you do makeup, make sure your makeup always popping. If you do hair, make sure your hair's always done. If you do nails, make sure your nails are always done. And then the other piece of it is when you leave here and you study for your state board, and when you open up your own salon, or even when you go into a salon, it's very, very important that you understand that the way that you dress is going to be important. You need to take pride in the way you dress, because me as a customer, when I walk into the barber shop, and all I do is get my mustache trimmed, because I shave my head and I shave my beard. All I do is when I go into the barber shop and get my mustache trimmed, I'm looking for a barber that looks like this brother, because he shows me he has a tight line. That means that he cares about my line. When I'm looking at hiring stylists or whatnot to come into my shop and to work in my salon, one of the things I'm looking at is I'm looking at their hair, I'm looking at their nails, I'm looking at their shoes. So make sure that you don't just get comfortable saying just because I do hair or I do nails or I'm an esthetician that's enough. Because you are your walking, talking billboard, and you are your walking, talking marketing device. The other thing that I want you to understand is consistency is very important. And when I say consistency is very important, every now and then what I do is I have one barber that I go to. If I'm going to an event and I need a really, really tight shave, every now and then I go to the same barber. And the reason why I go to this barber, and I've been going to him for 15 years, and as crazy as it may seem, that what he did the first time I sat in his chair, he still does today. And when I say that, I can remember going to his chair and I can remember sitting down, and what he did is he put this hot towel on my head. And that hot towel changed my life. And I remember I was men in here understand about that hot towel. We know that hot towel is important. When you go in there and they put that hot towel on your face or they put that hot towel on your head, and then guess what? The next time you come back, you're looking for what? You're looking for that hot towel, right? And if they don't do that hot towel, then what? You probably never come back and sit in that chair no more. It's always about consistency. There's a story that a sandwich shop owner, he owns a sandwich shop, and one of the days he didn't come into the sandwich shop, so he got one of his other employees to be the manager for the day. And what happened was a customer came into the shop, and the customer, he asked for the sandwich, and the man, he made the sandwich better than the owner made the sandwich. And he got his sandwich, and he looked at his sandwich, and he smiled, and as he was about to eat his sandwich, he said, "Hold on one second, where's my pickle?" And the sandwich maker said, "Hey, I'm sorry, we don't, pickles are 50 cents. We can't give you a free pickle." And he said, no, Sam always gives us a pickle when he makes our sandwich. And he doesn't charge me anything in addition to. And so the man said, "Well, hey, I can't do anything about that, Sam not here." So what he did was he told him, he said, "How you take the sandwich and give me my money back." And then he wrote a letter to Sam, and he sent it to Sam, and Sam got the letter, and he called all of his employees in. And when he told them, when he called all his employees in, he said, "Hey man, understand this, the customer is first. The customer is always right. If they want a pickle, give them a pickle. consistent. Whatever products that you use, if you don't have those products in stock, you can't offer that service. So I know, like, I'll tell you, I know one of my barbers. He always uses the dye, a certain dye he uses. He ran out of that dye. And he went across the street to Family Dollar and he got some dye from Family Dollar and he put that dye on his customer. And the customer told him when he went and took a bath and his whole face was running black. But I'm going to tell you, you can never compromise. Never compromise the integrity of your service. Never compromise the integrity of your products, because that'll determine whether or not only will I come, but I tell you something about me. If I come and sit in your seat and I like your service, I'm sending someone else to sit in your seat. And the thing about the beauty industry is word of mouth is your biggest marketing tool. A lot of people think social media is great, but you can have 1 million followers on social media and not have one person in your seat. The other thing we got to understand is your attitude determines how far you go in this business. And when I say your attitude determines how far you go in this business, there's a young lady that was in my shop. I can remember when she came into the shop, she was just graduating from college, she went to beauty school, she got her bachelor's in business management, but she had a desire to do hair. She's a cute little girl, she's also a little model, she has about 60,000 followers on Instagram, and she does hair really well. And she gets at least 6,000 to 7,000 likes every post. Every single post, she can post a picture of her toe, and they gonna like it. But I'll tell you something, because her attitude isn't up to par, she always has openings. The thing that I've found is, when I have stylists, when I have nail techs that have great attitudes, you can mess up on my service. Because everybody in here, I'm going to tell you something, you'll never be perfect. There's going to always be this one time you're going to mess up. How many people are already in the industry that are graduated today that say, you've messed up before? Put your hands down. So look, check this out. It's not about if you're going to mess up, it's when you mess up. What type of attitude do you have? How do people look at you, and that's going to determine whether or not they're going to come back. The only little piece of hair I have on my face, this little mustache, if I sat in this brother's chair, and if that brother was, if he was a barber, and I said, if I sat in his chair and he was a barber, and he messed me up, because I see your attitude, and I see your passion, man. And I'm going to tell you something, your passion and your attitude, that's what's going to take you a long way. That's what's going to catapult you to the next level. Because I know you got a next level that you want to go to, and your attitude is right. So you're going to go there. And also, let's stay humble. Let's stay humble. Finally, I say this to you. Finally, I say this to you. It's in your hands. It's not in my hands. It's not in our administration hands. It's not in the board members' hands. It's not in your instructors' hands, but it's in your hands. See, if I took a basketball and I put that basketball in my hands, get about $30 for that basketball. But if I took that same basketball and I went to LA and I gave the number 23, I put that basketball in LeBron James' hands, that basketball now is worth more than $500 million. You see, it matters who hands it's in. Take a football and put it in my hands. Football in my hands, you might get you $30, $40 for that football. But take that same football, and even though we're losing, give that football to number 11, Julio Jones. That football then will be worth more than 1 million happy people that live in Atlanta, Georgia. It matters who hands it's in. Take 2 tennis rackets and put them in my hands. I can't play tennis, never played tennis, don't even have the desire to play tennis. But put those tennis rackets in my hands, you get $200. But take those same 2 tennis rackets and travel to Compton, California. I can imagine in Compton, California years ago, 2 little girls, they were hitting the ball and their father said, focus. And pow, bullets were flying over their head and their father said, focus. Focus. And Venus and Serena's hands, those 2 tennis rackets then will be worth more than $800 million. You see, it matters who hands is in. Take this diploma. Take this diploma and put it in my hands. See, I can't do much with it because I didn't earn it. I don't know much about the beauty industry from that standpoint to sit down and pass the state board. But take this diploma and you put it in your hands, It'll be worth success for your futures. You see, it matters who hands it's in. I am J.R. Henderson. I thank you. When I say don't compromise your brand, whatever your brand is, when you put it out into space, make sure it's done right. Make sure you sit down with someone that understands how to put a business together. Make sure that when you put your logo together, your website together, that your homeboy or your homegirl that's not in the business aren't responsible for doing it for you. Make sure that you don't have a whole bunch of people helping you out to do it for free. Because free only means I do it on my time, when you need some corrections and when you need some updates and stuff, you can't get it because it's free. Most of all, understand that the people that are sitting beside you, they're not only your classmates, but now they're your colleagues. Make sure that the individuals that are getting your license and you've had an opportunity to work with individuals that are getting their instructor's license, make sure that you partner with them. Those individuals that are getting your instructor's license, make sure that you mentor these students. Make sure that you let them know, hey, if you have any problems, you can call me. Because it's all about us. Because at the end of the day, it is not our mission to see through each other, but it is our mission to see each other through. Thank you.
That was a wonderful speech. Did y'all enjoy that? Mr. Henderson, will you please come back to the podium? Mr. Henderson, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to bless us with words of wisdom. I was truly impacted, and as you can see, everyone else was too, by what you shared with us today. Please accept this small token of our appreciation on behalf of the Beaver Beauty Academy, class of 2018. I'm supposed to hug you or shake your hand. Which one you want?
We do hug.
Okay. All right, well, thank you so much for this.
Good afternoon. I'm so super excited for our students today. Are you all excited? Yes. Woo. All right, so without further ado, let's get to the moment that we've all been waiting for. We're going to start with some special awards. And the first student that enrolled in our program is Ms. Tia Chobani. Let's give her another round of applause. On December 19, 2017, the State Board of cosmetology and barbering sent an inspector to our school to inspect our school to ensure that we had all the equipment, products, textbooks, that we were a real living school. Ms. Patterson and this student were in a back room secretly having class because both of them were very excited about starting school. And this student was our first student to start class, and her name is Miss Jackie Oliver. In late February of 2018, this young lady came into our school to sign up for our nail tech program. And she said someone else had referred her to our school who had finished our program. Well, no one had finished our program in February of 2018, but I just played along because I needed her to sign up for school. This young lady signed up for our nail tech program, and in about 4 short months, she was finished with our program. So she was our first official graduate, or our first person to complete a program, and her name is Miss Natise McDonald. And we love Natise so much, and she loved us as well, that she signed up for our instructors program. And so today she's receiving both her nail tech diploma as well as a nail tech instructor educator. Let's give our first a round of applause. Now, on to our salutatorian and our valedictorian. The salutatorian is awarded to the student with the second overall highest average and has completed the required course of study. With the overall average of 91.24%, the 2018 salutatorian is Ms. Jonisha Moreland. Valedictorian is awarded to the student with the highest overall average and has completed the required course of study. With an overall average of 98.76%, the 2008 valedictorian is Ms. Natise McDonald. And before we move on to issue our students their diplomas, I would like to take this moment to acknowledge our Beaver Beauty Academy Advisory Board members. We have Mr. J.R. Henderson, whom you heard from earlier, Ms. Dana Price, and Ms. Dawn Ward. These are 3 of our 4 advisory board members. If you were at our pre-commencement, you met Dr. Jamila Gator. She's working in the emergency room today, so she could not be here. She was with us on Friday night. All right. So we'll start with the School of Nail Technology. The Nail Technology program is 600 hours, and students can finish in as little as 4 months if they're full-time. We'll start with Ms. Natise McDonald. Miss Jonicia Moreland. Miss Damari Shepherd. And I'd like to acknowledge two of our nail tech students who are not here today, but they have completed the program, and that's Miss Lenise Mixon and Miss Karis Wainwright. Please give the nail technology students a round of applause. Next, we'll move on to the School of Aesthetics, and these students are not here as well. Several of them are college students and are finishing up their college courses, but I'd like to acknowledge them, and that's Miss Dejanique Carter, Miss Raven Charity, and Brittany Turner, School of Aesthetics. And by the way, the School of Aesthetics requires 1,000 hours, and those students can finish the program in as little as 9 months. Next, we'll move on to the School of Cosmetology. The School of Cosmetology and Barbering require the greatest number of hours. Those students are required by the state to complete 1,500 hours, and that program can usually be completed in about 12 to 9 months. And we'll start with Miss Jacqueline Finley. Tia Giovanna. Miss Tracy Smith. Let's give our Master Cosmetology students a round. And now on to the School of Education. These graduates are already licensed professionals in their various fields, and they came back to school to get their instructor's license and be hazed by me. And we've had a wonderful time together. I enjoyed teaching the class, and I'm very proud of you all. We'll start with Miss Tammy Bryant. Nail technology educator. Ms. Jacinth Hall is graduating as an aesthetics educator. Mr. Scott Lewis, nail tech educator. Miss Natise McDonald, nail tech educator. Miss Iris McKay, Master Cosmetology educator. Miss Jacqueline Oliver, Master Hospitality Education. And last but certainly not least, Miss Candace Stanfield, Aesthetics Education. Let's give all the graduates another round of applause.
I don't have to say what all the candidates come from all the schools, please stand. By the power vested in me by the Georgia State Board of Hospitality and Art, I hereby confirm upon you hospitality school diplomas as indicated with all rights and privileges afforded to me. You may now move your attachments from the right side of the mortar board and place it on the left side.
And in closing, I'd like to acknowledge the individuals or corporations on the back of the program. I'm not going to read them all to you, but I do want to give a shout out to my daughter, Nicole Kemp. She has a production company. She's right over there. Nicole was responsible for our graduation pictures, and if you follow us on social media, any of the professional looking videos and pictures that you see are done by Nicole. I'm very, very proud of her. Thank you, Nicole. I'd also like to recognize my sister, who always keeps me beautiful, as Mr. Henderson said. We must look like our brand, and while I'm not a beauty professional, she makes sure that I'm always beautiful, and so do my students. They're always wanting to do my hair, my nails, and my lashes to keep me beautiful. So thank you to Styles by Dee Dee. A Crisis Solution is an educational consulting firm, and Ms. Price, Ms. Dana Price, owns that business, and she's always giving me free advice about education and our students. Felton Printing and Sublimation. Did you all like your business cards that were in your gift bag? Yes. Well, he gave those to me for a great deal because it was a lot of work with the setup fee and whatnot, so I would like to give him recognition. Felton Printing, if you need any printing needs, business cards, etc. And I'd also like to thank my team. There is no I in team. We have a small team, but we work very hard and we get the job done. Ms. Eccles is outside at the front desk, but I'd like to thank Ms. Eccles and also Ms. Patterson, our lead educator. She's at the school every day, even when the school is closed. Ms. Patterson is always there. And I would like to acknowledge our students. We would not be a school if it were not for you. If you did not give us an opportunity to serve you. Students always say things to me like, I know you're busy and you got a minute. You're the reason why I'm busy. And we work because of you. So we love you and we thank you. And tell a friend about Beaver Beauty Academy so that we can stay open and continue to allow students to receive their education at our school. And last but certainly not least, I would like to ask all the friends and family of the students that are sitting up here to please stand. If your mom or your dad is up here, your aunt, your uncle, or family member, let's give our friends and family a round of applause. Thank you so much for, you can have a seat. Thank you so much for supporting the vision of your loved one. If you help pay tuition, we thank you. If you help a child while they went to school, we thank you. If you drop them off or pick them up, we thank you. If you help them with their homework, if you let them play on your nails, your hair, whatever the case may be, if you supported them in any way, if you gave them pep talks, if you told them don't quit when Miss P made them mad or don't quit when I made them mad, We appreciate you and we thank you for seeing it through. Thank you all for coming. We do have cupcakes and punch in the back. After the graduates recess out, we're gonna come right back in and take a few photo ops. Please don't stop them. Please let us take our pictures so that then you all can go. I heard about the smorgasbords and the parties that are planned so that we can get you all to your parties, okay? And one last thing, if there are any gentlemen that are willing to help and stay to help us put the chairs and the tables back, we would greatly appreciate it.